Welcome back to my channel Celebuzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. In the world of reality TV and cooking shows, one name that stands out from all the others is Buddy Valastro, the famous cake maker and star of the show, Cake Boss. For years, people loved watching the amazing cakes he and his team made at Carlo's Bakery in Hoboken, New Jersey. With its fancy cakes and big personalities, Cake Boss became a really popular baking show. But, as they say, nothing lasts forever, and that's true for Cake Boss too. What could have possibly happened? Why did this favorite show go downhill? Join us as we look at the rise and fall of Cake Boss. From Hoboken to the world, Buddy Valastro, also known as the Cake Boss, is a famous and well-loved American baker and TV star. His journey from a small bakery in Hoboken to becoming a household name in the baking world is a story of love for baking, hard work, and family values. Bartolo Buddy Valastro Jr. was born on March 3, 1977, in Hoboken, New Jersey. He was the fourth of 5 kids in the Valastro family. Buddy's dad, Bartolo Sr., started Carlo's Bakery, a small but well-known Italian bakery famous for its yummy pastries and cakes. Buddy's early start in the world of baking and his dad's hard work and promise to make quality pastries made a big impact on him. While growing up, Buddy spent hours at the bakery, learning and watching his dad and other family members who worked with him. He grew to love baking, and it became clear that he was really good at making beautiful and delicious cakes. Now, even though he loved baking, life wasn't always easy. His life took a sad turn when he was 17. In 1994, his dad, Bartolo Sr., died from lung cancer. Losing his dad was a terrible blow, both personally and for the business. Buddy suddenly had to step up and take responsibility. The job of running the family bakery was now his, even though he was young and didn't have much experience. This time was full of big challenges, and he had to learn fast. Buddy's mom, Mary Valastro, played a huge role in helping him during this hard time. She became his strength and wisdom, helping him figure out the hard parts of running a bakery business while keeping the family together. Under Buddy's leadership, Carlo's Bakery began to change and grow. He didn't run away from the job off carrying on his family's work, while also adding his own creative ideas to the business. Buddy brought in new recipes and cake designs that made Carlo's Bakery a place where cake lovers wanted to go. One of Buddy's first new ideas was adding more types of cakes, from traditional Italian pastries to fancy wedding and special occasion cakes. His attention to detail and artistic skills soon became clear in the bakery's creations. Word quickly spread about the amazing cakes and pastries that were coming from Carlo's Bakery, bringing in customers from far and wide. Even though they made great pastries, Carlo's Bakery was still just a bakery in Hoboken. How then did it become one of the most famous bakeries in the United States? What problems did it face? Cake Boss takes television by storm. The big change in Buddy Valastro's career as a baker happened when a TV producer found him. In 2009, TLC started Cake Boss, a TV show that followed the daily activities at Carlo's Bakery and showed Buddy's amazing skills at making and decorating cakes, as well as the challenges that come with running a family business. Cake Boss was instantly popular and became a huge hit. Viewers loved Buddy's charm, his huge love for his work, and the loving relationship within the Valastro family. The show not only made Buddy and Carlo's Bakery famous, but also got people all over the country interested in cake decorating and the art behind it. Buddy's reputation as a cake artist grew. His special way of decorating cakes used new techniques and incredible attention to detail. He was known for making cakes that were not only delicious, but also looked stunning. Some of his most famous creations included life-sized cake sculptures and detailed wedding cakes that looked like works of art. Buddy's artistic creations went beyond regular cake designs. He loved the challenge of creating custom cakes for different events and occasions, from fancy weddings to elaborate birthday parties. His ability to turn any idea into a cake masterpiece earned him devoted fans in the baking world, and also countless awards. Throughout his rise to fame, Buddy Valastro stayed true to his strong family values. Carlo's Bakery continued to be family-run business, with Buddy's sisters, Lisa and Grace, and his brother-in-law playing a key role in how it worked. This strong commitment to family was not just for tradition, but it was a basic part of the bakery's identity. Buddy often talked about how important family was in his work, and his relationship with his wife, Lisa Valastro, and their 4 children was a heartwarming part of Cake Boss. His love for his family and the balance he found between work and personal life inspired many people who wanted to start their own businesses. Cake Boss was on TV for over 10 years, and during that time, there were some unforgettable moments. In one of the most memorable moments, a huge chandelier cake fell down during the photo shoot. The cake was so heavy that it couldn't hold its own weight, and came crashing down. Buddy and his team once made a life-size copy of a toilet for a customer. The cake was complete with edible toilet water and flushing sounds. For Halloween, Buddy and his team made a zombie cake that looked so real it was scary. The cake had rotten skin, showing organs, and even blood dripping from its eye. And no, the fun didn't stop there for this group of talented bakers. The crew once made a cake for a cat and dog wedding. The cake had a tiny bride and groom, as well as a wedding party of other animals. In a special episode of Cake Boss, Buddy competed against his rival Duff Goldman in a cake-making contest. The two bakers made fancy cakes that were judged by a group of famous chefs. Besides these specific things, many other things made Cake Boss such a memorable show. But Buddy Valastro's personality is one of the reasons why the show was so popular. He was energetic, passionate, and always ready for a challenge. The show also had a cast of colorful characters including Buddy's family and friends. One positive thing about the show was the emotional side of the show. When Buddy's mother died in 2017, the show made an episode to honor her memory. Buddy and his family talked about how much their mother meant to them, and how she inspired them all to follow their dreams. There were many other times when Buddy and his team showed their caring and understanding for people on Cake Boss. For example, they made cakes for people with disabilities, people who lost loved ones, and people going through hard times. They also gave cakes to charity groups that support important causes. Buddy and his team are incredibly talented bakers, and they make cakes that are not only visually stunning but also delicious. Cake Boss had something for everyone, and that was one of the reasons it became successful. Cake Boss. Laws of diminishing. Return with growing popularity. The show soon expanded to include spin-offs, specials, and international versions, including Kitchen Boss, Cake Boss, Next Great Baker, and Buddy's Bakery Rescueto, spread Valastro's family charm worldwide. Carlo's Bakery itself had a huge increase in business, with customers coming from everywhere to taste the creations that they had admired on their screens. Besides television, Buddy Valastro and Carlo's Bakery were also featured in different magazines and newspapers. Their cakes were on the covers of baking and lifestyle magazines, and Buddy himself became a popular guest on talk shows. Now, the constant presence of Cake Boss flooded the market, and as a result, some viewers began to feel like there was too much. As they say, too much of anything can make people tired of it. While Buddy's charm and the bakery's delicious cake creations first made viewers love them, too much exposure made some viewers lose interest. The newness of the show soon began to wear off, and its appeal soon began to fade. This overexposure made it hard for Cake Boss to keep its original level of viewers and excitement. The show soon began to move closer to its end. Bad publicity can have a big impact on the reputation of a TV cast, and the same thing happened with Cake Boss. In 2013, people found out that Buddy Valastro paid his workers less than minimum wage. This was a clear breaking of the Fair Labor Standards Act, which requires employers to pay their employees at least minimum wage. His employees said that they were being paid as little as $5 per hour, when the minimum wage in New Jersey was $8.25 at the time. He also faced accusations of creating a mean work environment. Employees said that Valastro was verbally mean, and that they created a climate of fear and bullying in the workplace. They also said that Buddy bullied his employees for no reason. In response to these accusations, he said he didn't pay his workers below minimum wage, and that he had always paid his employees a fair wage. He also said he didn't create a mean environment, and he said that the accusations against him were false. However, in 2014, Buddy settled with the Department of Labor and Workforce Development. The settlement required him to pay back wages to his employees and to put in place new rules to make sure his employees are well paid and that they work in a respectful and safe environment. The accusations against him hurt his reputation and led some viewers to boycott the show and the business. Overall, in 2014, Buddy faced a legal problem that resulted in bad publicity, and as a result, a shadow was cast in Cake Boss. His arrest for DUI, driving under the influence, got a lot of media attention. The incident involved Buddy being pulled over by a police officer in Manhattan, New York after driving badly. He was then arrested for drunk driving. The bad publicity surrounding this arrest damaged the clean and wholesome image that the Valastro family had built on Cake Boss. Furthermore, the show faced criticism for an incident involving transgender celebrity Carmen Carrera. In an episode, Carmen was brought in the show as part of a prank involving a gender reveal cake. The incident was considered transphobic by many viewers and advocacy groups. Using someone's gender identity as a prank was considered offensive and hurtful, leading to backlash against the show and its host. This controversy caused some viewers to question their support for the show, and eventually, it led to a decline in its overall appeal. Later in 2015, an employee whose name was not shared due to Privacy reasons said there was misconduct and inappropriate behavior in the workplace. The accusations brought by the former employee were disturbing and serious. She said that Buddy had engaged in a pattern of inappropriate behavior, which included making mean comments and gestures that created a hostile work environment. This lawsuit got a lot of media attention, which only added to the bad publicity surrounding Buddy Valastro and the Cake Boss brand. It was a damaging blow to the show's and Buddy's reputation. The decline in ratings was also one of the critical factors in the cancellation of the TV show. The ratings began to drop a lot in 2015, marking the beginning of the end for the long-running series. Also, TV viewership trends changed, and the competition in the reality TV genre got tougher. New shows with fresh ideas and engaging personalities began to capture the attention of audiences. Cake Boss began to look outdated and out of touch with modern preferences. All these factors combined to create a perfect storm that led to Cake Boss experiencing a steady decline in ratings throughout 2015 and 2016. As ratings continued to fall, it became increasingly clear that the show was no longer the powerhouse it once was. Eventually, this led to the cancellation of the show in 2017. Now, since the closing of the show, the cast members have gone on to pursue different endeavors, showing their talents in the cooking and entertainment world. From expanding their bakery businesses to launching their own TV shows, each member of the cast has found unique paths to continue their success. Life beyond Cake Boss. Buddy Valastro has stayed active in the food industry. He's continued to run his other bakeries in New Jersey and Las Vegas, and has also expanded his business to include a line of food products and a restaurant. In 2018, Buddy launched Buddy V's Italian restaurant in Las Vegas, a restaurant that serves classic Italian dishes as well as some of his signature creations, such as his lobster tail pastry. Buddy has continued to work on television. He currently stars in the Discovery Plus series, Bake Squad, in which he and a team of other bakers help home bakers complete their dream cakes. He also hosts the Food Network's show Buddy V's Duff, in which he competes against fellow pastry chef Duff Goldman. Besides his work on television and in the restaurant industry, he has released several cookbooks and food products. Meet the casts. Mauro Castano is Buddy Valastro's right-hand man and the talented pastry chef at Carlo's Bakery. Born in Milan, Italy, Mauro moved to the United States when he was 7 years old, arriving on February 15, 1976. His family roots are spread across Italy. His father is from Bernalda, Basilicata, and his mother is from near Reggio Emilia, in Emilia-Romagna. Mauro's personal life is deeply connected with Buddy's family. Ash is married to Buddy's second oldest sister, Maddalena. Their love story began on September 16, 1989, when they had their first date, set up by Maddalena's father. The couple married in October 1991, and together they have 3 children. Dominique Bartolo Buddy and Mary Joey Fano is the head baker at Carlo's Bakery and another key person in the family dynamic. He is married to Buddy's oldest sister, Grace, and together they have 2 children, Robert and Bartolina. Joey is responsible for many of the bakery's signature creations, making sure that the baked goods live up to the high standards set by Buddy and the team. Frankie Amato Jr., is a cake decorator and Buddy's second cousin. With 2 children of his own, Frankie has also taken on the role of godfather to Buddy's son Marco. His creative touch in the bakery has helped make many of the fancy cake designs that have made Carlo's Bakery famous. Danny Dragni is a longtime family friend and versatile employee at the bakery. He has been a part of the team since before Buddy was born, working in different roles that earned him the nickname The Mule for his adaptability. Danny's daughter Tatiana also works at the bakery, continuing the family tradition of service and dedication to the business. Grace Fagno, Buddy's oldest sister, is another important part of the bakery team. She works at the front counter and, in later seasons of the show, takes on roles in cake decoration and the delivery of special orders. Grace is married to Joey Fauno, the head baker, and together they balance family life with running the bakery. Maddalena Castano, Buddy's second oldest sister, manages the front counter at Carlo's Bakery. Married to Mauro, the pastry chef, she helps keep the bakery running smoothly. They have 3 children, Dominique, Buddy, and Mary. Maddalena plays a key role in managing the day-to-day operations of the bakery. Mary Ciarone is Buddy's third oldest sister and works as a cake consultant at Carlo's Bakery. She has 2 children, Joseph and Lucia. Mary became part of a major storyline when she was temporarily fired in the 5th season after making inappropriate comments during filming. However, she was rehired as a cake consultant a few weeks later and returned to her full-time role at the bakery in the episode, titled Silly Susan Surprise. Lisa Valastro, Buddy's youngest sister, helps manage the storefront and handles some billing tasks. Lisa's life took a turn in the earlier seasons when her husband, Remigio Remy Gonzalez, was arrested on charges of sexual assault, leading to their divorce. Remy had been Buddy's left-hand man at the bakery, and his arrest was a big moment in the show's history. Lisa and Remy have 3 children, Teresa Tessie Colgrove, John Colgrove, and Isabella Valastro. The birth of Isabella was highlighted in the 3rd season episode, Mother's Day Mama and Mom-to-Be. Remigio Remy Gonzalez was Buddy's former right-hand man and the husband of Buddy's sister Lisa. Remy appeared on the show for a while before he was arrested for sexual assault in 2010. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison after pleading guilty to the assault of a 13-year-old girl and was expected to be sent back to his home country of Mexico after his release. He served time and was released in April 2018, though he has not returned to public life. Salvatore Salpicinich was a beloved and long-time employee at Carlo's Bakery, known for his dedication and trustworthiness. Sal worked at the bakery for decades, starting in 1964. He was given the Employee of the Century Award in the summer of 2010, a recognition of his years of service. Sadly, Sal passed away on January 30, 2011, after a battle with cancer, marking the end of an era for the bakery. Stephanie Sunshine Fernandez was a top cake decorator at Carlo's Bakery, and the first female employee who didn't work in sales, as Buddy Valastro pointed out. Before leaving to pursue nursing school, Sunshine made an impact on the bakery's creations, even appearing on the show's spin-off, Next Great Baker. She was chosen by Season 2 winner Marissa Lopez to help create her American Dream Cake, showing her talent before stepping away from the bakery to focus on her new career path. Paul Conti was a bakery employee who appeared briefly on Next Great Baker in Season 3. Unfortunately, his time at the bakery was cut short when he lost his home and job due to the devastation of Hurricane Sandy. Despite this setback, Paul eventually found a new job at a baking supply company, continuing his career in the baking industry. The team at Carlo's Bakery is much more than just co-workers. They are a close-knit family, with each member playing a unique and important role. Whether it's the expertise of the head baker, the creativity of the decorators, or the support of the family members behind the scenes, everyone contributes to the bakery's success and its ongoing legacy. Their dedication, loyalty, and the personal stories that connect with their work have helped make Carlo's Bakery a beloved institution. Away from the spotlight, personal life of Buddy Valastro. Buddy and Elisabetta Lisa Valastro married on October 14, 2001. Until 2014, Valastro lived in East Hanover Township, New Jersey, with their 4 children, Sophia, Bartolo, Buddy III, Marco, and Carlo. As of 2014, he has lived in Montville, New Jersey. His stepfather is Sergio P. Chinch. His 4 older sisters and their husbands appear frequently in his television shows: Grace and Joey Fogno, Maddalena and Mauro Castano, Mary and Joe Ciarone, and Lisa Valastro. Lisa's former husband, Remy Gonzalez, left the show after his arrest for sexual assault of a 13-year-old girl in 2010. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison for the assault in 2012. His brother-in-law, Maurizio Belgiovine, is the director of operations at Carlo's Bakery. On November 13, 2014, he was arrested for driving while intoxicated. His driver's license was suspended for 90 days, and he paid a $300 fine. In September 2020, Valastro had his right dominant hand impaled by a pin setter at his home bowling alley. His sons and other family members rescued him by cutting him out of the machine. He had 2 emergency surgeries and several follow-up surgeries. He said in November 2023 that he had gotten back about 95% of the strength in his hand. Buddy vs. Duff Goldman fans of cake boss Buddy Valastro have a lot to be excited about these days. The baker behind Carlo's Bakery recently launched his virtual brand, Buddy V's Cake Slice, so fans across the United States can have a fresh slice of his most popular cakes within half an hour of ordering. To celebrate the launch, Buddy talked with MASH during an exclusive interview to explain a little more about the new brand. Of course, he also filled MASH in on the last season of Buddy vs. Duff and his relationship with his competitor. While they might be fighting it out for the title in the baking competition, it turns out the 2 master bakers are pretty close. Buddy explained just how well they hit things off when they originally met. "Me and Duff are good friends, I guess, Season 1. Which is crazy and people don't believe us, but we knew of each other but we didn't know each other," he said. And over the years of being able to kind of start to work together, he and his team are amazingly talented artists. And I have the utmost respect for them and they have the utmost respect for us, he added. The friendly spirit doesn't stop some trash talk, though. We're still boys enough where we tease each other a little bit. It's like we're like two guys on a basketball court, Buddy joked. The best part of all might be that Buddy Valastro gets an inside look at some of the precious photos Duff Goldman takes and shares of his daughter Josephine. He once in a while texts me a picture of his daughter, who's beautiful and adorable, Valastro said. And I'll send her clothes, and they'll, send me a picture. Oh, she's in Uncle Buddy's outfit today, headed. The two share a great friendship. Even then the pair of celebrity bakers still have their eyes on winning Buddy versus Duff. But perhaps, Buddy more so than Duff. He's a great guy. Look, do we want to win? Yeah. And do I think that he brings out the best in me and I bring out the best in him? Yeah, he said. But if it makes sense, even though I want to win, I'm not rooting against him. You know what I'm saying? He added. No matter how hot the competition may get, he is quite happy to have a friend like Goldman. He was one of the first people with my injury who texted me, and he was back and forth with me. So we have a really good relationship, he explained. Who is Duff Goldman? Jeffrey Adam Duff Goldman, born December 17, 1974, is an American businessman, pastry chef, television personality, and writer. He is the executive chef of the Baltimore-based Charm City Cakes shop, which was featured in the Food Network reality television show Ace of Cakes, and his second, Los Angeles-based shop Charm City Cakes West, which is featured in Food Network's Duff Till Dawn and Cake Masters series. His work has also been featured on the Food Network Challenge, Iron Chef America, Oprah, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Man v Food, Buddy vs. Duff, Duff Takes the Cake, and Duff's Happy Fun Bake Time. Goldman was born in Detroit, Michigan to a Jewish family. Goldman's nickname Duff came about when he was a baby. His toddler brother Willie Goldman was unable to say Jeffrey and kept saying Duffy. When he was 4 years old, his mother caught him in her kitchen holding a meat cleaver and watching Food personality chef tell. After the divorce of his parents when he was 10 years old, Goldman lived in both Northern Virginia and the town of Sandwich, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. In 1992, Goldman went to McLean High School in McLean, Virginia, where he played on the Highlanders ice hockey team. In 1993, he graduated from Sandwich High School. At the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, UMBC, he earned a bachelor's degree in East Asian history with a minor in ethics. After that, he went to Courtroom College of Art and the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone in Napa Valley, California. From age 14, he began to work in kitchens. His first job was at a bagel store at a mall. Goldman also worked as a fry cook at McDonald's. Goldman has said that when he was a sophomore in college, he went to the Baltimore restaurant, Charleston, which he considered the finest restaurant in Baltimore. Wanting to be a cook there, he applied. The head chef, Cindy Wolf, looked at his resume and noted that it consisted of unrelated experience. However, Cindy did offer him a job to make cornbread and biscuits only, and this is what Goldman says was the turning point in his career. He worked under acclaimed chefs in California, including a stagiaire position at the French Laundry, and as executive pastry chef of the Vail Cascade Hotel in Colorado. He returned to Washington, D.C., to work at Todd English's restaurant Olives, baking bread. In 2002, Goldman made moves into the food industry when he started his own business by opening his bakery called Charm City Cakes. Initially, his cake sales began as he worked out of his house in Charles Village in Baltimore, Maryland, with the help of 2 assistants he employed. As demand grew, he hired more employees, hiring painters, architects, and sculptors to work on the development and expansion of his bakery. Charm City Cakes frequently uses blowtorches, as well as power tools such as grinders and drills to help create the underlying supports of cakes. Goldman has made cakes for former President Barack Obama during his second inaugural ball in 2013, novelist Tom Clancy, the cast of Lost, the 30 Rock cast along with a cake prop, actor Sir Roger Moore, and, for pop singer Katy Perry's birthday video. In 2022, Goldman competed in Season 7 of The Masked Singer as McTerrier of Team Good. After the performance of Loverboy's Working for the Weekend, McTerrier's mask accidentally came off, and he had to shield his head, while the panelists shielded their eyes until a crew member had to run out and put the mask back on. He was the first to be eliminated. Goldman is a judge on several Food Network cooking competitions, such as the Holiday Baking Championship, Spring Baking Championship, and Kids Baking Championship. He co-hosts The Last Show with Valerie Bertinelli. He has appeared in Guy's Grocery Games, most notably the Season 25 Episode 18 episode titled Delivery, All-Star Hanukkah, in which he competed against Aaron May and Eric Greenspan, and the judges were Antonia Lofaso, Catherine McCord, and Jonathan Waxman, all of whom are of Jewish descent, except for Ms. McCord, whose husband is Jewish. As of 2021, Goldman lives in Los Angeles, California. He played bass guitar in an indie rock band. He later became the bass player in the band Foie Gras, a play on foie gras and rock and roll. He states his alternate dream job would be to perform as a bass player with the band Clutch. Goldman has made a wedding cake for Clutch's lead singer, Neil Fallon. In addition, Fallon's younger sister and Goldman's friend from college, Mary Alice Fallon-Yeski, works at Charm City Cakes as the office manager. Goldman is Jewish. He is involved in Tzedakah. In an interview with Hillel, the Foundation for Jewish Campus Life, Goldman said, "Tzedakah is very important to me. I've been so fortunate with everything that has happened to me, it would be a crime not to give back." On April 2, 2018, Goldman proposed to Jonna Colbury, whom he later married. On September 25, 2019, Goldman spoke at Cornell University, discussing the importance of Jewish identity and tzedakah in his life. On August 8, 2020, the couple announced they were expecting their first child, expected in January 2021. In January 2021, their daughter was born. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and check out another of our interesting videos.